Over the last 18 years of playing FIFA Career Mode, I've learned a lot about the game mode, and today I've collated a bunch of my favourite tips that can help you guys get up to speed a lot faster than I did. Today I'm talking about 7 things you should know before you start playing FIFA 23 Career Mode, but even if you've played a couple of hours here or there, I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 tips in here that can help you out. One of the things I see a lot of new people figuring out themselves is that you don't have to do training every single week. Most people won't unless they're planning on doing the full 15 season career mode. Doing the training does make your players improve faster, but it can make the game a bit too easy, and it can also slow down the game a lot. If every 2 days on the calendar you're spending 2 or 3 minutes doing training, you're really going to take a long time, and you're probably going to get a bit fed up and bored of doing the same training routines over and over again. So what you need to do is just do training 1 time, and that grade will always be used for the rest of your save. So if you get a single A rank, it can boost an area for your team. So let's say you're playing as Ajax and you want to get a really good dribbling and passing rated team. So what you can do is just do all the dribbling and passing trainings to an A rating, ignore the rest, and your players will improve in these areas much faster than, for example, their shooting or stamina stats will improve. It's a really good way of, if you've got a philosophy you want to incorporate, making sure your players fit into that, and I do think it's an underrated part of the game. But make sure you know you don't have to do this every single day. The next best thing you need to know is that the AI isn't actually very good at building a squad. Quite a lot of the time they'll make mistakes with positioning. They'll either sign no one in a position or end up with a squad that has 10 different left backs. You can kind of fix this if you have a second controller, by assigning a second controller to the AI's team, fixing their team, and then removing the controller just before you kick off in the match. It's really fun playing against the AI when they've got a functional squad, and if they're playing something weird like having Anthony playing centre-back while you've got Lindelof up front, it's not going to be as fun for you as if you do this, and it's a good tip that I think everyone should know about, and you really should know that AI isn't good at transfers. The next thing you need to know is you need to try to avoid improving too fast. If you're planning a career mode that is going to last 15 seasons, there's no point signing 70 to 75 rated players in League 2. You'll just go unbeaten, and this does make the game a bit more boring, and of course, you'll probably lose interest very quickly. While you can do challenges like only signing British players in Britain or only signing French players in France if you want to make your career mode a little bit harder, don't forget you can also use sliders to make the gameplay a bit more difficult. If you're finding that AI have really fast or really slow players, why not boost or decrease the sprint speed stats for every single AI with a slider? It does make it a lot more easy, and you can make it a bit more balanced if you're having a tough time with any aspect of the gameplay. The next thing you need to figure out for yourself is how you're going to actually enjoy your career mode. Everyone enjoys career mode in their own way. Before you start yours, have a think about what you'd like to do during your save. Set yourself some goals or objectives so you always have a target, or your save can get pretty old pretty quickly. Some of my favourite career modes have had a goal. For example, I had a Polish career mode back on FIFA 16 where I tried to bring Lewandowski back when he was about 35 years old. He was only 81 rated, he had about 65 pace, but I still tried to beat the all-time goal record I'd set with a youth academy player earlier in the save. Doing things like this can spice up the game and make it a bit more interesting, especially if it's not the first career mode you've done. For example, they could try and replicate what Celtic did with the Lisbon Lions, where you try and get a bunch of players who are all born in the same city as your club. Things like that really can make the game a bit more fun, and it does give you an objective, which isn't just sign Neymar, sign Mbappe, and sign Messi, and see if you can roll through the championship. A little thing you should definitely know is that winning isn't everything. Career mode can be more fun when you're fighting for points rather than crushing every single opponent. I'd always recommend competitive leagues where you'll have multiple teams fighting for the titles or continental competitions or for promotion, whereas leagues such as Scotland really are only 1 or 2 horse races. You can still have lots of fun in these leagues, don't get me wrong. If you have someone like Hearts, Hibs or Dundee, you can try and overthrow Celtic and Rangers, but only if you can accept not winning the title for the first couple of seasons. If you find yourself getting bored with career mode, then make sure you give out Create a Club, because Create a Club really can give career mode a breath of fresh air. For sure, try out some real teams in your first couple of saves on the new game, but the real fun comes from creating an abandoned or a forgotten or a defunct football team that will never be on FIFA ever again. I've made a series where I recommend a team for every single league using the FIFA 22 career mode create a club save, whereas FIFA 23 is basically the exact same system, so why don't you have a look at some of those videos if you haven't got any ideas. But really do check out create a club, because after your first couple of saves, it might be good to recreate a club with all your friends in it, or maybe your local team that isn't on FIFA, or maybe just some weird team idea that you've thought of. Maybe you think Belfast could play in the Premier League, or maybe you think Calais could be the French best team after PSG. Whatever you come up with, I'm sure your creator club will be more fun with you having a bit of an input on who the club is, what the kits they wear, where the stadium is. You'll put everything you need to know in the club, and I think it'll make it a bit more fun. A couple more things you need to know is that there isn't actually a huge amount of randomness in career mode. Most of the time, you're the manager of a stable club, so the storylines are a good way of adding some unpredictability into the game. There are a ton of them out there on Twitter and Instagram. I've also got my own storyline maker on my website where you can just randomize one super quickly, and it can introduce some scenarios into your career mode save. For example, if I just quickly load it up, I've been given the challenge that I need to sell my captain as well as 3 of the top 10 highest rated players because a former manager has unsettled his dressing room. This is a cool suggestion, and it was done by someone on my Discord, and having that kind of thing in your career mode would really spice things up. If we have a look at another one quickly as well, buy or find a youth player from Canada and Australia because your club is looking to expand into North America and Oceania. I think that's a really cool idea as well. Gives you a little bit of something else to think about when you're doing your youth scouts, maybe going to some of the countries that aren't quite as good at bringing through youth players. You're not just constantly scouting Brazil and Argentina and France. I think bringing in storylines is a really good way of continuing to have fun after the saves maybe got a couple of seasons in. And the final thing you need to know about career mode is that it's totally up to you how much you enjoy it. If you're not having fun with career mode, then that is totally fine. It might not be the mode for you, and maybe Ultimate Team is better for how you like to play FIFA. If you're interested in bringing through young players, which is I think a lot of people's favorite part of career mode, then career mode is going to have something that no other game mode on FIFA can do. You get attached to your players, you get attached to your team, you get attached to transfers, you find enemies in clubs and managers you don't like, and I think that that part of the emotion is something you can't get if you're playing online because you'll only play someone 1 or 2 times ever, and that's what my favorite part about career mode is. I really think you should give it a chance if you've never decided to do it and you're just watching this video to see if I can persuade you into playing career mode. But with a lot of FIFA career mode fans now moving to Ultimate Team, I think it's important that someone is there to talk about career mode, and that's exactly what this channel is. So if you're interested in challenges or team guides, league guides, suggestions, save ideas, you name it, then this is the channel for you. So make sure you subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you very soon for another video. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.